Okay, we're talking specifically about Native women here in Oklahoma at the roundtable, but I want to change focus and talk about language as it might relate to cultural lifeways and different departments that you would see in academic institutions. I was wondering, Paula, if you could talk a little bit about language itself and how you find that it's important to the environment and Native communities.
Well, one of the things that I found in the interviews that we did over the summer was some of the stories that people had about the weather. I mean, there were songs. There weren't just stories, there were songs that described tornadoes. There was Dorothy Whitehorse sang a song, a Kiowa song about tornadoes, and then she explained to us that the song had descriptions about, how a tornado looks if its grandmother, if it's singular, and its angry grandmother, if it has multiple, and those angry grandmothers are killer tornadoes. And so that fascinated me. And then as I learned more about how language is more descriptive and alive, they're not flat nouns in tribal languages. They're adjectives, they're verbs, they're alive, they're colorful, they're in motion, and they're far more descriptive of weather, rain, just any of it that you deal with. Has, like in the Sami reindeer herders, there's 1,500 words for snow, and they describe every single life cycle of snow, of water, from water to ice, and the different variations. And so language is so important to understanding the weather from a Native perspective, and also it'll give insight to the Western science community. And decolonizing that education system will help allow for that opportunity for indigenous and Native languages to share knowledge, to be incorporated as valuable knowledge. Knowledge is.
It's interesting because in Cheyenne, there's a word for not only lightning, but for the feminine negative charge that comes up from the earth to meet the lightning. So, Cheyenne people knew that phenomena happened before mainstream science did. And Blackfoot, their word for the sun is chief sun, because they realized long before anyone else did that there were far more suns out there than the one that is important to us, but that's the one important to us. And I mean, there's anything we could think of about knowledge. There's so much knowledge that's embedded there in Native languages that just, like I said, remains unexplored, and such a rich territory for all of us to be delving into in terms of everyone's fields. The things that we could learn about pedagogy from looking at the words that we use for how do we learn, the things that we can learn about the ways that we organized our communities and all work together to get along that we call law today, right? But all of our fields could be richly fed by investigating more of the knowledge that's there in Native languages.
So I wanted to come back to talking about Native languages in communities and how students coming to OU could have a really good opportunity in learning some of their Native languages or learning about culture through language.
We've got, right now, we still offer Choctaw, we offer Kiowa, we offer Creek, and we offer Cherokee. I know that we've offered other Native languages in the past, such as Cheyenne. I think that the opportunity exists for us to do even more in the future. As long as the funding is there in place for us to do things like this. Certainly with 39 tribes in the state, with 38 federally recognized, right. At our flagship institution here in Oklahoma, I think there's great opportunity for us to do closer work with communities and with elders and put linguists and elders together to teach all of these languages, because there's not just the idea that we do need to maintain these things to maintain cultural distinctiveness, which is part of what the criteria is for federal recognition, but also because of the knowledge base that's there for all of Oklahoma's citizens that we could be drawing on.
Thank you, Wado, for that discussion about language in Oklahoma, and particularly in programs of study at the University of Oklahoma.